Listening, fill in the blanks.
Nature has been in existence long before humans, and ever since it has taken care of mankind and nourished it forever. In other words, it offers us a protective layer which guards us against all kinds of damages and harms. Survival of mankind without nature is impossible, and humans need to understand that.
In order to conserve nature, we must take drastic steps right away to prevent any further damage. The most important step is to prevent deforestation at all levels. Cutting down of trees has serious consequences in different spheres. It can cause soil erosion easily and also bring a decline in rainfall on a major level.
The butterfly is a tiny but wonderful insect. On fine days it flies from flowers to flowers. It is a friend of flowers. Its long thin body is divided into the head, thorax and abdomen. It has 6 legs and 4 wings. On the wings, there's a whole world of colors. Folding the wings, it sits on flowers and sucks honey. It also eats green leaves. The butterfly lives for a few weeks only. Before dying, the female butterfly lays eggs. Caterpillars come out from the eggs. From the covering of the hairy caterpillar comes out the beautiful butterfly. The colorful butterfly is really one of God's best creations. In the introduction, the first sentence can be a broad or general statement that sets the tone for the piece. It is usually supported by a second sentence that leads into the thesis. The optional third sentence may pose a question that the thesis aims to answer, or it may prompt the reader to think about the topic in a different light. The final sentence of the intro paragraph clearly establishes the thesis.
The death of a loved one can kill the mind and the soul of those he or she leave behind, yet at the same time accepting death can usher in a rebirth and a greater sense of self-awareness. When my grandmother died, it was the first time that someone I truly loved and cared deeply for had passed away, never to be seen or talked to again. My grandmother and I were close.
Death is an enigmatic phenomenon that mankind dances with. Experienced by everyone at some point or another, death weaves its way through our lives and presents to us the reality of its finality and the truth of the unknown. Consequently, death results in the natural need to mourn the loss of people passed on. For most aging adults, death becomes a more conspicuous matter to address than in earlier years. Some cope better than others with the inevitable nature of death, seeing it as the necessary conclusion to a long life, while others deny its approach and attempt to delay its occurrences as long as possible.
This process is not easy because having a grief and working through the pain is very different from each other. This process is a broad concept because it includes several positive ways of handling the grief. The proper identification of the various emotions regarding pain and dealing with those is the main procedure of this task.
The stages of death are known to be a process of mourning that is experienced by individuals from all phases of life. This mourning ensues from an individual's own death or the death of a loved one. Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross dedicated much of her career to studying this dying process and in turn created the 5 stages of death. The 5 stages are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. My home is situated in the city. It is not too big nor too small, just the perfect size. My family lives in the home. It comprises of my father, mother, sister, and grandparents. We live in our ancestral home, so my home is very vintage. It is very old but remains to be super strong. There are 6 rooms in my home. Each family member has a unique room which they have decorated as per their liking.
Like, share, subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for further updates.